Pennsboro Speedway is starting to look raceable. We'll talk about the progress and the challenges still ahead, plus a dirt late model Hall of Famer back in the seat, NOS backing another open wheel racer, rumors about the next TKS sprint car driver, and more. Let's go. It's Tuesday, September 24th. I'm Justin Fiedler. This is DIRTRACKR Daily presented by Kubota Genuine Parts. So if you're not keeping track at home, we are exactly 1 month as of today away from what is supposed to be the first race back on the big track at Pennsboro Speedway in West Virginia. The Mason-Dixon 100 for the XR Super Series is slated for October 24th through the 26th. Going back to the spring, most of the 2024 schedule at Pennsboro was sacked, with Barry Braun and his XR squad targeting this late October event to make something happen there. After the spring flooding, there were very few updates about progress until we got pretty deep into August. At that moment, Braun shared to social media that they would be spending September getting the track ready to go, and the first images of the current situation have started flowing out in recent days via Braun's Facebook and the Pennsboro Speedway account. They've got forklifts placing concrete barriers, there's dirt work going on with graders and water trucks and other equipment, and there are campers all over the property. I don't know if those are all XR people or if the space is used for other needs, but the racetrack starting to look like a racetrack. With 4 weeks to go, there is still a significant amount of work to do to make the place into a safe and raceable facility, and it's clear that not everything they had hoped to accomplish will get done. If they do indeed have the place ready to go by October 24th, I'll be super curious to see what drivers show up to try out the egg-shaped half-mile track. There isn't a ton of competition schedule-wise that weekend outside of the 20,000 win Fall Classic at Why Not and the 24,000 to win Keystone Cup at Bedford. Lucas is done by that point. The Outlaws will be off until World Finals. And the Flow Series doesn't end until mid-November. They race this week at Brownstown. There's nothing scheduled then until Sonoya. We're still looking to see what they do about that I-75 date. Bedford and Pennsboro, though, are only about 3 hours apart, so that show could siphon off some of those Pennsylvania late model teams that may have tried this one out. We'll keep you updated on the progress over the next few weeks. You can see a bunch more photos at facebook.com/Pennsboro Magic. And speaking of the Flow Series, in the lead up to the opening of the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series Championship Chase that begins this weekend at Brownstown, the Flow Racing Night in America Series will be on the track tomorrow night. I've yet to see any sort of event roster yet, but I was sent a Facebook post about the return of Don O'Neill. Supposedly, he'll race tomorrow night in the Masters-built house car, jumping back into a major racing series for the first time since the Lucas shows at Brownstown in 2020. Back a few weeks ago, Masters Built shared a post from something called Race Know-How that clearly showed O'Neill testing a yellow 71 not too long ago with Tater Masters. Brownstown is a racetrack that O'Neill has had a lot of success at in his career, so if he was going to do some one-off racing, this is the track we'd expect that to happen at. O'Neill's last significant dirt late model schedule was in 2019, and his last Lucas win came that season. He was still driving for Clint Boyer then, and he went to victory lane at the Pittsburgher in October, leading the final 7 laps. Tomorrow night's Flow Show is $20,000 win and $1,000 to start. We'll do more of a preview on that one on the Wednesday Daily Show. A couple of random open wheel notes for you today. First, did you guys notice Daison Pursley's fire suit at Eldora on Saturday night? During Four Crown Nationals action, Pursley swept the midget events on the weekend. He took the USAC sprint car victory and had a very good shot to win the Silver Crown race before ending up 4th. Pursley, though, wearing a NOS energy drink suit all of a sudden. None of his race cars, though, sponsored by NOS, as the Team AZ sprint car and Silver Crown car sponsored by Apache Transport, and his CB Industries midget has had pristine auction on it all year. Chad Boat and CB Industries have had a relationship with NOS on their side, as Chris Wyndham has raced with the team with the NOS colors, and Pursley's car has carried NOS as an associate sponsor. But I don't remember previously seeing Pursley in NOS gear, and digging through some USAC and some Jack Reeds and some Rich Foreman photos, I can't find anything from earlier this season. I guess it could be nothing but just a suit for the series points leader with the NOS Energy Drink midgets, but it makes you wonder if Pursley isn't next in line for NOS support as his kind of career advances here. Besides leading the USAC midget points and running well in non-wing stuff all season, he's had some impressive winged starts as well, including a win at Huset's with Brandon Eichenberry's 25 team. If I'm a wing sprint car owner looking for a driver for next season, and there are several of those at the moment, he's a guy you at least have to take a look at right now, especially if he comes with at least some level of NOS support. And back to the TKS Motorsports Sprint Car, we found out yesterday that it was splitting with driver Hunter Schoenberg following the Eldora weekend in 11 races together. One driver who I've heard, been told, who might be in line there for some starts before the season ends is Florida racer Danny Sams. He's been running a fairly aggressive schedule this season across sprint car racing, already appearing 59 times in 410 competition. He picked up 3 wins during Ohio Speed Week. He recently swept an IRA weekend at Gondik Law and Cedar Lake and has 360 wins at Lawrenceburg with the GLSS and Volusia with Top Gun. He's also had quite a few very solid runs with the Outlaws and High Limit. And he's been a name that's been percolating around as a potential full-timer on a national tour next season. And even with the history of short driver stints in the 2KS, it might be nice to leave his usual 24 car in the shop for a few weeks and race with someone else. I don't know that this deal is 100% done, but just a guy to watch out for coming up if TKS does decide to run some more shows before the season is over. One schedule note for you, the Super DIRTRACKR Series events at Atomic Speedway in Ohio that were scheduled for this coming weekend have been canceled due to weather. I'm not really sure at this point why they continue to put this event on the schedule at Atomic, because I think it's been rained out every year they've tried it. These events will not be made up. We've got a storm system in the Gulf that is looking like it will turn into a hurricane here very shortly and then head north through the weekend. So I'm afraid this could be a common theme for certain parts of the country for the coming days. Hopefully everyone stays safe out there, especially our friends down in Florida. Up next for the Super DIRTRACKR Series is Super Dirt Week at Oswego that gets started on October 7th. If you missed it over the weekend, I put out another video in the Zach Hampton Sprint Car Build Series. Earlier this year, if you don't know, we did a 10-video series where Zach built an entire sprint car from bare frame all the way up. Very detailed, many hours of content. You could put these videos on in your shop and literally build a car side by side with Zach as he shows you everything. Besides the full build, Zach also did a shop tour, and I posted a time lapse of the full build where you can basically watch it start to finish in 8 minutes. The one area Zach did not cover in the build series, though, was the interior of the sprint car, because at the time, some of his seats and extra gear were tied up in some other race cars. So this newest video is a full rundown on the seat install. He shows off seat belts, how to put the 4 bolts in, there's a knee guard, all of that stuff. It's kind of the final piece of that puzzle there. If you go to youtube.com/DIRTRACKR, look for the Zach Builds a Sprint Car playlist, you'll find all 14 videos right there. We'll call it good right there for today. The streaming schedule is again quiet today, but if you want to see it anytime, head over to DIRTRACKR.com/watch tonight. All major streaming services are included there. It's about the most comprehensive dirt racing streaming schedule that you will find anywhere. I hope you guys have a great Tuesday out there. We will see you right back here tomorrow.